All right, so week 1 of college football, I came down the hall and I took a jab at you because I said that Tennessee wasn't ranked. Mm-hmm. And you told me, we're supposed to be real good this year. And I was like, And now Tennessee has just hit number 3 in the rankings. Tell us about the game Saturday and what was going through your head during the game.
Well, it started out like I thought it should. Tennessee got out to an early lead, and they were a pesky little bunch. They fought back, and, it was back and forth for a minute. But, in the end, cream rises to the top, and the Vols ended up making the kick and executing at the end, something Alabama wasn't able to do. So, probably start our 15-year streak now like they had. Because that's just, that's what we do, and Rocky Top is back.
And they destroyed their stadium.
Yeah, it cost about $125,000. I've donated to the cause a little bit. No, I haven't. But I think we had already budgeted for that because everybody inside the family of Vol Nation had we expected this season and to go out and win. And the win total Vegas set was at over 8 wins for the year, and we're on pace to get about 10 now. So.
Yeah. I'll say this, I knew after watching, because I've watched Tennessee 2 other times this season, and I knew after watching Tennessee, they had a very good chance of beating Alabama. And at this point, I think they might beat Georgia too.
They could. That's going to be a challenge. I think Georgia's defense is a little better than Alabama's. We just, and Georgia will have more tape on us and all that as it goes on. But when you get the scheme we got and the coaching staff and the athletes, it's going to be tough. It'll be fun.
Well, we know y'all can score, so if y'all can just keep Georgia from scoring, you'll win, and then you'll be at the SEC championship game, which I think me and Coach Partee were talking about this morning. I think that's a very, very strong possibility. But how many years has it been since Tennessee has had this kind of momentum?
Man, 99-ish, I guess. But we're getting back. I think we've played a few SEC championship games since then. But we'll see. My prediction for the Georgia, now that we're talking about Georgia, they will not make it to the Tennessee game undefeated. So they'll have a SEC loss already.
I think you're right on that. So now, how long have you been a Tennessee fan?
Since 1989. I was 9 years old. Andy Kelly was quarterback. It was during the shift of Johnny Majors to Philip Fulmer, and then Heath Schuler come along. He was left-handed, running all over the place, throwing it. And then, of course, Peyton Manning come along. Ball game.
Oh, Peyton. We all love Peyton. Now, even if you're not a Tennessee fan, you end up loving some Peyton Manning. So, did you go to Tennessee?
I did not. I had to make a decision, go to Tennessee. I've always loved them, or play baseball somewhere I was good enough to play at, and I was nowhere near good enough to play there. Even at the time, definitely wouldn't be.
Right. I remember now that you said you were a baseball player. So, but Tennessee's always been at heart.
They have. And I will say, if you look at all the athletics, like going into basketball season this year, more people picked Tennessee to win the NCAA tournament going into the tournament than any other team.
Right.
In baseball, going in the World Series, number 1 in the nation, big upset in that. So I think we're trending in the right direction and everything. Danny White, best athletic director in the world.
It's gonna be an interesting ride the rest of the season after this.
Welcome to Eagle Vision for Wednesday, October 19th, 2022. I'm bringing today's top story highlights the aviation community as we sit down with Luke Weathers Flight School here in DeSoto County.
We are here with...
Jermelia Taylor, General Manager at Luke Weathers Flight Academy.
Okay, and tell us a little bit about your job.
So at Luke Weathers Flight Academy, I manage student performance, instructor performance, and then not only that, I make people become pilots. So people who have an interest in flying, or they want to become a pilot, or they want to just come and get a specific rating of, hey, I just want to fly me and my friends from here to Tupelo and back. I help them with that.
Okay. Now, there's a lot of different aspects of a career path as far as that of aviation goes. Tell us some of the different careers that you can have in aviation.
There's so many, whether you want to be a pilot, whether you want to be an aircraft mechanic, whether you want to work in the tower and control air and work in air traffic control. Those are the main three that people want to look at. And of course, you can be like me. You can handle the administrative side of aviation. And then you can always be a flight attendant. You can always work for the airport itself. So
students who might be interested in a career in aviation, whether that be pilot or mechanic, where would they start as far as education? What are their options? What track should they be on education-wise to go into that field?
Through Luke Weathers Flight Academy, they can take part of that field by going and enrolling in Southwest Tennessee Community College. One of our flight operations interns, he is actually an instructor there, and he teaches a class on aviation safety, and he also teaches a class on air traffic control. But that's just your first step. So aviation safety would be your first step. And then from there, any other courses that you would need to enroll in, whether it's with you being an aviation mechanic or any other things that falls under that, that would be your first step to start there.
So tell us a little bit about Luke Weathers.
So Luke Weathers Flight Academy is a part of a company that is called OBAP, the Organization of Black Aerospace Professionals. Luke Weathers Flight Academy is located at 11299 Airport Road in Olive Branch, Mississippi. At Luke Weathers Flight Academy, we help people who come in just like me and you, and they're like, hey, I have a dream to fly. And they start by accumulating their ratings through us. The first rating that they're going to get is their private pilot rating. The private pilot rating is just like your first driver's license. It's just going to, well, your driver's license. Well, it really is, honestly, it's your permit.
Okay.
It's your permit to get you started. And once you get your private pilot license, you move on to your instrument license. Your instrument license is going to tell you, okay, well, hey, what if it's cloudy outside, or it's raining outside, or it's dark outside, and I can't see the ground? How am I going to get from here to where I need to go? We'll use the instruments in the plane. Then we also help people with their commercial license. Commercial license is where you do a lot of time building, where you learn a lot of maneuvers, so much more. It's really your training to become a certified flight instructor. We also have that rating there as well, where people come in and they're like, hey, I want to get a pilot license, and I get all my ratings, but you have to have a certain amount of hours before you're hired by airlines. So you come and you become a CFI, certified flight instructor, and that's where you gain your hours to work for the airline. And you gain those hours by teaching students. You gain those hours by flying with your students, by working with your students. And the more students that you accumulate, the more hours you accumulate.
That's awesome. Now, it's no secret that it costs a little bit of money to get your pilot's license and to go into this field. A lot of people are nervous about not owning a plane because owning a plane is a very expensive endeavor. I'm assuming y'all have options for people to rent.
When you come to Luke Weathers Flight Academy, we do have aircraft that you're able to use. So when you come in, if you want to say, hey, I want to come and I want to take a discovery flight with you guys, or I want to come in and I just want to get a tour of the academy, you could start with us at Luke Weathers Flight Academy. And if you wanted to rent planes, then we could take you, we can show you another venture with the other flight school that we partner with, Air Venture, where you can go and rent planes.
So y'all have a student program. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, we have a few student programs. We have APIS, which is Airline Professionals in High School. In school, if I'm not mistaken. I might have that acronym right. We also have the Solo Flight Academy, where if you're between the ages of 16 and 18 and you're interested in aviation and you want to be a pilot, you can come hang out with us for 2 weeks over the summer, and you study and you work really hard. And at the end of the 2 weeks, you get to solo the plane by yourself.
Oh, that's incredible.
Right. So if you're interested, please reach out to me and I'll be more than happy to send you or your parents that information.
So if students are interested in coming and being a part of you guys, give them the information on how they can get hooked up with you guys.
You guys can reach out to me. My name is Jermelia Taylor. I'm the general manager at Luke Weathers Flight Academy. My cell phone number is 901-708-0115, and my email address is gtaylor@obap.org.
Wonderful. And of course, y'all can come see Miss Hennessy as well in the counseling complex, and she can get you hooked or plugged in as well. Now, real quick, this Saturday, there's an opportunity coming up for aviators or people who are interested in aviation. We briefly mentioned that earlier. Tell them what that is.
There's going to be a fly-in this Saturday, October 22nd at the Memphis International Airport. It's going to be at the Signature Ramp, and they're just going to be doing a lot of different things. It's going to be, I think if I'm not mistaken, a small air show. You guys can come out and look at aircraft. You guys can come out and speak to pilots, mechanics, and so much more. So please, we'll see you there. Look, beat us there. Don't meet us there, right?
All right. Awesome. Thank you so very much.
No problem.
October is Native American History Month. Eagle Vision has created several segments highlighting the Native American culture.
Native Americans have been living on this continent for over 15,000 years. They continue to thrive even today. Long before Europeans began to explore the area now known as Mississippi, 3 major Native American tribes lived there. In the north and the eastern parts of the state were the Chickasaw. The Choctaw lived in the central part of the territory, and the Natchez lived in the southwest. The Chickasaw Indians were Mississippi's second largest Indian group after the Choctaws. Before the United States government forced their removal in the 1830s, the Chickasaw resided. Sometime prior to the first European contact, the Chickasaw migrated from western regions of the country, settling east of the Mississippi River, where they settled mostly in present-day northeast Mississippi, Alabama, and into Lawrence County, Tennessee. In North Mississippi, their villages centered between the headwaters of the Yatsu and Tombigbee rivers around present-day Tupelo. The first European contact with the Chickasaw ancestors was in 1540 when the Spanish explorer Hernando de Soto encountered them and stayed in one of their towns, most likely near present-day Tupelo, Mississippi. After various disagreements, the Chickasaw attacked the De Soto expedition in a nighttime raid, nearly destroying the force. The Spanish moved on quickly. The Chickasaw began to trade with the British after the colony of Carolina was founded in 1670. With British-supplied guns, the Chickasaw raided their neighbors and enemies, the Choctaw, capturing some members and selling them into Indian slavery to the British. When the Choctaw acquired guns from the French, power between the tribes became more equalized and the slave raid stopped. The Chickasaw had interaction with the French, English, and Spanish during the colonial years. The United States considered the Chickasaw one of the 5 civilized tribes of the Southeast, as they adopted numerous practices of European Americans. Resisting settlers encroaching on their territory, they were forced by the U.S. to sell their country in the 1832 Treaty of Pontotoc Creek and moved to Indian Territory in Oklahoma during the era of Indian removal in the 1830s. Most of their descendants remain as residents of what is now Oklahoma. The Chickasaw Nation in Oklahoma is the 13th largest federally recognized tribe in the United States. Its members are related to the Choctaw and share a common history with them.
This week's feature vocabulary words are bear, befall, and burgeon. Bear, endure an ordeal or difficulty. Befall, of something bad happen to someone. Burgeon, begin to grow or increase rapidly, flourish.
It's now time for today's announcements. Pay attention, there's lots of important information we need you to know. The Chess Club meets every Monday and Wednesday after school in D15 from 3 p.m. to 4:30. It's not too late to join. See Mr. Irvin in D15 for more information. National Honor Society will meet in D4 at 7:15 on Tuesday, October 25th. Writing scholarships are now available to students. Visit artandwriting.com for more information, or check out the poster at the Counselors Complex. Aviation Career Day is October 22nd from 9 to 3. If you're interested in participating, you can visit the Counselors Complex. The Aviation Day will take place at 2488 Winchester Road in Memphis. That's it for today's episode here at Horn Lake. We are better students, always growing and expecting more. Stay tuned for your lunch menus and athletic schedules. We'll see you here tomorrow. Have a fantastic day.